Good day, everyone. This is Piney Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculetta.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to everybody that's in the chat room already.
Ooh, is it already crowded?
We're getting there. People are joining as we speak, Piney.
Ooh, all right. And while the crowd assembles, let us head into game news, where we'll begin with Update 31, Patch 1. Is there anything interesting in this little release?
We kind of talked about this last week. There's not much in here. It was basically just to add the Fighter Kensei trees enhancements that they did not get in. The Fighter Kensei, as I said, is basically what it is. 2 new Tier 4 enhancements have been added. They are Opportunity of Attack, Liquid Courage, which used to be called the Drunken Monk, I think it was. Drunken
Master?
Drunken Master, maybe. I don't remember what it was called. It was so much better when it was the Drunken whatever. It's the Liquid Courage now. And that seems to be a nice ability, because after drinking a potion or a drink, you will increase your positive healing and repair amplification by plus 50 for 30 seconds. So that is kind of handy. And also, Power Surge now grants its popper plus 8 Sonic bonus to all stats.
There are psionic bonuses?
Yes, in the Fighter Kensei tree there is.
Oh, okay.
And once again, I'm the wrong person to talk to because I don't play a fighter. I really need to pull up a fighter and check some of these changes out. But I'm not one for the fighter type melee characters. I know it sounds weird because I play a lot of rogues. But see, rogues I tend to just backstab and assassinate a lot. I usually don't like to get right up in their face. I like to be behind them and killing them, not punching them in the face. And also, they did fix a couple of the new quests in this little update as well. The Good Intentions quest. They did fix a spot on the rooftop that could cause a player to fall into a hidden valley.
Okay.
I never found such hidden valley, but apparently you can't find it anymore. And
it's real hidden now.
It's well hidden now. And in the Memoirs of an Illusionary Larcener, fix some issues that could cause players to get stuck or fall through the world. The combat encounter in the ship treasure room now triggers more easily, and they did fix an issue that could cause heroic level end rewards to appear in legendary difficulty.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, that would not be good. And also, they corrected an issue that could cause lag when Guild Renowned is granted. So supposedly the quote-unquote Guild Renowned lag is now fixed. I never experienced that to start out with, so I don't know if it's fixed or not. I saw on the forums people are saying that they're not getting it anymore, so apparently the fix worked.
Oh, they're not getting the lag or not getting Guild Renown?
The lag.
Okay.
From the Guild Renowned. So yeah, but like I said, I never personally experienced that myself, so I don't know.
All right. Then let's head into DDO digital sales are suspended until June 1st, and based on what I've heard, this also applies to the Lord of the Rings Online.
It does, and everybody, let's put on our tinfoil hats now, because when this first was announced over on the forums by Quartermaster U, the conspiracy theorist came out of the woodwork.
As always.
It's the end! This is the end! This signals the end of DDO as we know it and Lotro. No, it is not. I did reach out to Turbine for a statement. I at first tried to get a hold of Quartermaster U, but he does not accept private messages on the forum. He probably does not want to get spammed over and over with messages. So I reached out to Cordovan, and he did give me a statement after checking with the marketing team that reads, quote, "This is being done so that we can import our key redemption process into the in-game stores." So what this means is right now until June 1st, you cannot go on the DDO market, which is the store. If you go to store.turbine.com, that will take you to the market page for either Lotro or DDO, depending on which game you're for. Or over on Amazon, you can actually buy Menace of the Underdark and the Shadowfell Conspiracy expansions over on Amazon. Right now, those are not going to be available. The in-game store still works. You can still use it. You can still buy turbine points through the in-game store. You just cannot buy them or buy expansion packs via the marketplace or Amazon right now. After June 1st, it'll be turned back on. Everything will be fine. No conspiracies here.
Not even a Shadowfeld's conspiracy?
Well, there's always that conspiracy going on. But
okay.
Who knows about that Shadowfell? But so, yeah, that's it. Nothing major, as they say. Nothing to see here. Move along.
All right. Then let's move along to the DDO Chronicle issue 191, inching towards 200.
They are very, very slowly, but we're getting there. Screenshot before
Something's
you ask.
flying.
Because I was about to say, I know you're going to ask. That is some harpies, and that is from one of the New Quest Search and Rescue.
Are we trying to search and rescue for the harpies, or are they getting in our way?
I'm not going to tell you because you haven't run
okay.
Yet.
Okay.
Well,
after running the temple, I suspect it'll be the latter.
So usually harpies are not your friend, finally. In the community spotlight, the DDO stream team has created a public Discord channel if you want to come and hang out and talk DDO with a lot of DDO folks. So click over and you can get the info on how to get on the DDO stream Discord channel. And for those of you that are saying, what's Discord? That is a new voice over IP chat service similar to Skype, our TeamSpeak, our Ventrilo, any of those type systems. It is slowly becoming the de facto standard for gaming. A lot of games and gamers are really liking Discord. So that is what Discord is, for those that are wondering. And also, Ben over at DDOgaming.com is bringing his first live problems to Twitch. So click over and watch him run his first live and the problems that he has with that.
Oh, as opposed to a second life?
Or your third life or your fourth life, or, you know.
Yeah. Seeing that I haven't played with a second or third or fourth yet.
So you understand first life problems then, finally.
Well, then, because one would have to have a comparison to, let's say, fifth or sixth
True.
life play in order to understand first life problems.
That is very true. And in the fan site news section of the Chronicle DDO Cast, new episode is up, and it is all about consumables with Lessa and Asheris. So click over, either watch that or give that podcast a listen. I actually have not listened to that episode yet. I did see that it hit my feed. It's waiting on my iPod, just waiting for me to listen. We got a shout out for our last episode as well, and Jeff over at DDO Gamer is discussing the upcoming Kenneth crafting changes. So click over that out, and we can't forget about the Shady Rogues. Speaking of conspiracies, they are discovering a dream conspiracy. So watch over and check their latest episode out.
Well, maybe I won't want to because it'll be full of spoilers, won't it?
Oh, probably. I haven't actually got a chance to watch that either, but yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I know which quest they're running, so yeah, it's going to be very spoilerish for you because you haven't done the quest yet. So
anyway, I just managed to finally watch their episode of part 2 of the temple.
You finally got through all of their temple. Well, wasn't that an amazing thing? That was so fun to watch them run the temple. I've said it before, but I love the Shady Rogues. They are so awesome.
Assuming you meant for humor value.
Well, yeah. Okay, and the Chronicle comment this week is a definite Pinely fan question. The question is, assuming both are shot at the exact same time and is an automatic hit, which would hit first? A magic missile or a crossbow bolt? Pine Leaf Logic, go.
Okay, Pine Leaf Logic, go. Okay, I presume this is something that's not answered in some source book somewhere or something like that.
Not that I am aware of.
All right. So therefore, we have a force item, which forces tend to move around speeds like light or something like that, versus a missile, which is a mechanical device. I would have to. And so magic missile versus crossbow bolt, I would say the magic missile would hit first.
I would say magic missile would hit first as well, too. That is my answer. Just because it's magic.
Well, that also helps.
And in our chat room, DDO Central is saying that he wrote up a 3-part article on Update 31 for Justin Olivetti /SIP for his BioBreak blog. It looks like he's out on vacation, I guess. And DDO Central says 1 part for each of the 3 new quests, and they're going to run from May 28th through May 20th. So we will look for that over on Sib's BioBreak blog. So good job on writing that, DDO Central.
Right, and I noticed our screenshot of the week for... Is that an Umber Hulk invasion?
Nah, those are slots.
Oh, those are slots. Okay. See, I've run to so few Umber Hulks, I can't tell them from slots yet.
And DDO Central is saying that is 3,500 words with screenshots. So that's awesome. Can't wait to read those.
All right, then. Then let's head into the store sales for this week. And is there anything exciting for sale?
20% off True Hearts of Wood, Lesser Hearts of Wood, Quest XP elixirs, healing items, and spell point potions. You can get a free sample of the week through the 26th, which is the Lesser Slayer Count Boost. That coupon code for that is SLYRBST, and that is 1 per account.
So that's Slayer Boost.
Slayer Boost. See, I love the vanity codes. And they're even better this time because they make sense.
Yes, it's the old ones occasionally had. Huh?
And also through May 30th, it is double points again when you buy Turbine points through the store.
All right, then let's...
Oh, let me rephrase that. It's double bonus points.
Of course, double bonus points.
Not that I'm getting at it. I'm sure everybody was like just scrambling to get to the store to buy points because it was double points. Double bonus points.
All right, and I presume that's to help to counteract the fact that there are some sources where they're not available.
I would assume so. If not, it was a happy accident.
All right, then let's head into the site news where DDO Players have our screenshot number 50.
Such a big hype that you gave that finally.
It seems to be burning.
Yeah, it's this has to stop. Bonnie Bew has her Owlbear Defense League. I want to start the Coffin Defense League. Why do people set coffins on fire? It's wrong. That's a perfectly good place to sleep, and people are just setting them on fire.
I didn't even know that you could set them on fire.
Oh, you can. Most spells will set them on fire. There's some quest where when you destroy them, they go on fire. So yeah, just stop setting coffins on fire. That is a perfectly good place to sleep, and people are just walking around burning coffins.
Oh, well.
If you have a screenshot you're proud of, send that to podcast@ddoplayers.com, and we might feature it on the site.
Then let's find out what is coming up from the dungeon. And our first item is that 52% of Gen Con's industry insiders this year are female, which, considering the numbers I saw in there, that there are something like 20... Is that the number of them was 13 or something like that?
Yes, there is always 25 featured industry insiders at Gen Con every year. And
all right.
What the industry insiders do is they hold panels and workshops and such, like that. This year, 13 of the 25 are female. And people might be wondering, well, why is that such a big deal? That's because last year, as for an example, there were only 4 females on the panel. And the year before that, there were 2. The year before that, there was none. So this is kind of showing, and now I can't speak for like PAX or any other convention, but at least for Gen Con, since I go to Gen Con every year, I can tell you from my experience, you can see there is a big female, I'm trying to think of the word I want to use, presence, I guess, in gaming. There is a lot of females attending. There's a lot of females that are playing tabletop and RPG. And I think this kind of goes to show that the shift in how females are actually being presented in gaming. And Gen Con is touting this as the panel is as diverse as the program is itself. And Jessica Price, who is one of the industry insiders this year, she is a tabletop gaming manager, and she has a blog. Over on that blog, she talked about the fact that females are well versed this year on the panel, and she says, to put it in perspective, 5 years ago, the ratio of women to men in the Insiders program was 1 in 16, so about 6.25%. 2 years ago, it was 4 out of 25. And she goes on to say, I don't think I can emphasize enough how big a deal this actually is. Gen Con last year had over 60,000 attendees, and I can't think of any other gaming convention that size that has had a featured speaker lineup with actual gender parity. So good job, Gen Con, on trying to get some of the women in gaming out in the front.
But Felicia Day isn't one of them, right?
She is not.
All right.
She was there a couple years ago, though.
Okay. Then let's head into Rage of Demons free DLC, which is coming to Sword Coast Legends.
Actually, it has already gotten there. It is available. You can update your Sword Coast Legends install now, and you will have the DLC to play through. We have been talking about this for a while, and we did say we weren't sure what was going to happen with this since Endspace closed down. And Digital Extremes did say they were still planning on releasing this, and it was going to be coming soon. Well, soon is now, as they say, because as I said, it is now out. And this, of course, is the update for Swords Coast Legends. That is a very Drizzt-themed campaign. And it also features a new Tiefling race and the Warlock class. It's also now available in Sword Coast. And also Dungeon Masters can also look forward to fresh and exciting campaigns through the world of Sword Coast Legends. It got a little bigger, too. There is new dungeon areas, new town areas, creatures, decorations, and tile sets to choose from. So you can create the ultimate dungeon to kill your party off with. Or no, wait, that's just me. So it's good to see the Digital Extremes did actually come through and get this released. And as I said, it's available now, and it's actually free. So if you own Sword Coast Legends, you should have an update. It should automatically update if you have your Steam set up that way. If not, just go update it, and you're good to go. There's no word on when the console version is going to come. That is still up in the air. So we still don't know anything about Xbox. Not 360, but the Xbox One and the PS4 versions of Sword Coast and the Rage of Demons. It's still coming. We don't know when. But it's on the PC right now, though.
All right. Then let's head into On the Tabletop, where we'll first have a little look at a new game that recently hit on Kickstarter, One Deck Dungeon. And this is, as you can tell from the name, it's a very small dungeon crawl game, because usually when you play dungeon crawl games, you think of having all these tiles spread out all over the place, or at least those are the ones I tend to think of.
That's usually how it goes.
Usually
makes sense.
Right. So in One Deck Dungeon, just about everything is represented in a single deck of cards.
Well, they picked a really good name for it then.
Yeah, I picked a really good,
very apropos name then.
Very apropos name and straightforward. So it's billed as a roguelike, so first few times you play, you're likely going to get beaten up a little bit as you learn the rules, because it's balanced as a roguelike. And you go in there, you open the doors, you explore, you get killed by, you try to kill monsters. And one of the interesting things is they decide to do the combat in a single round. The idea is that they assume that you're eventually going to kill the monster anyway. So therefore, if you survive the fight, they assume if you survive the first round of the fight, it means you killed the monster. But if you fail to do everything, to do it the optimal way, in other words, the combat system determines whether or not you optimally beat them without taking any damage or anything like that. But however that goes, you do eventually kill it and take the treasure, and you use the treasure to either get an item, to increase your skills, to gain experience for eventually improving yourself, and various things like that. And the same cards are used for all these little things, and you tuck them under your character card in order to represent these. And I don't know, you have any comments before we go on?
It sounds kind of cool, actually. And this is, can't remember if you mentioned at the beginning, this is a Kickstarter.
Right.
Actually, that is running right now. It looks like it's got 16 days to go, and they have already hit the goal. They have blown past the goal, actually.
Yes.
They're at 46,271 of the 20,000 that they wanted. So it's stretch goal time.
Stretch goal time. Let's see how many of those they unlock. Because the final stretch goal is to add an extra character. Because right now they have 4 characters and 4 different dungeons that you could choose from. And the dungeons are different by some of the environmental items that make it easier or tougher. So there's one of the dungeons that is good to start out with because that's a little bit easier, and then they get tougher. The dragon, for some reason, is the easiest of the dungeons, and the lich is the toughest one.
Well, as it should be.
Right.
Because
now,
it is a lich, after all.
Right. Right now, I have no trouble getting past the dragon, so...
So, it looks pretty interesting, actually.
Now, so let's head into conventions, and there seems to be a rumor about Hasbro.
Yeah, this is kind of strange, actually. All signs are pointing towards a Hasbro Con coming soon. The reason why this popped up is last week, Hasbro registered a new trademark with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and the trademark was for Hasbro Con. And they described the trademark on there as organizing and conducting conventions, exhibitions, fan clubs, and gatherings for entertainment purposes and in the fields of toys, animation, comic books, fantasy, gaming, popular culture, science fiction, television, and film.
Whew.
So people were like, okay. Well, then later on in the week, they also registered HasCon with the very same description as the Hasbro Con. So I would pretty say all signs are pointing towards them creating a convention. Well, just to throw another little piece of wood on the fire for that, how about they also registered Hasbro.con.com. So there is a Hasbro-con.com. Right now, there's nothing there. It's a placeholder page. It's empty. But if you look up, let's look up on that domain, it's registered to the Hasbro Corporation. So I would say we're going to get a Hasbro Con pretty soon.
Now, this is, I guess because the way things have changed, because I remember back in the day when I used to go to Origins a great deal. Origins back in those days was being run by WotC. And at some point, I think they stopped running it. I was wondering... Well, it sounded like, if they stopped doing conventions, why do they want to now start doing conventions again?
Exactly. That's kind of what everybody... I mean, I guess technically this wouldn't be WotC per se because...
Well, yeah, it's the parent.
But still, yeah, exactly. But that brings up the point, though, because people are saying, well, why a Hasbro Con? Well, you're talking Dungeons & Dragons. You're talking Magic the Gathering, My Little Pony, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Play-Doh, Nerf. They've got a lot of things they can do, and plus they have licensing and branding deals with Disney, Marvel, and Lucasfilm. So you've got a lot of things you can do at a convention with what Hasbro owns or has the license to market. So we'll see what happens with this. But as I'm saying, all signs are pointing to we're going to get a Hasbro Con soon.
I'm just picturing someone firing Nerf arrows into the Magic the Gathering tournament room.
That would be awesome, actually. But yeah, there's no more information other than this. This is all speculation at this point, but it doesn't take a genius to do the math on this and figure everything out, because unless Hasbro is going to try to pull off the ultimate troll, there's a Hasbro Con coming soon. So we will, of course, keep you updated on any more information that we get.
You mean registering all those things just to...
Yeah, exactly.
It might be if they never announced it.
We'll show them. We'll just register all this stuff and get people talking to them. We'll say, no, we're not doing anything.
We're just keeping somebody else from doing it.
I see, exactly.
All right, then let's head into where board games come from.
Yeah, this was a series of 2 videos that I thought were fascinating. And I have no idea why I was so fascinated with these videos, because there's not much to them. What it is May Day games posted 2 videos of just some sneak peeks of exactly how video games are made in the Chinese factory that make their games for them. So you see the games coming down the line, you see what the workers do with the games. But the thing that fascinated me to no end about this is how fast these people were working. There was a machine that cut out the cards, but they weren't fully cut out. And then this lady was sitting there. She would grab this stack of papers that were on this line. She would punch these cards out like so fast you could not. At first, I wasn't sure exactly what she was doing. And then I'm like, oh my God, she's cutting those cards. And she would rip them apart and then stack them and then move on to the next. It amazed me at how fast these people worked.
Whee!
So if you're ever curious exactly what goes into making a board game, watch these 2 videos. And they're not very long. I think the first one was like 5 minutes and the second one was like maybe 3 minutes. So it's less than 10 minutes of your time, and you can actually get a fascinating look into the kind of behind the scenes of the board game industry that a lot of people usually don't see.
All right, then. Let's then head into our week in DDO, where we look at the highlights of our playing. And what were you up to?
I didn't do a lot this week. I was actually busy with a lot of other things.
Oh, you mean all this stuff that's here is not a lot?
It's not really a lot, really. Basically, I spent most of my time over on Wayfinder. My Ranger is level 8. Oh, go ahead.
Is the lag on now?
I didn't have any lag whatsoever.
Okay, then I'll have to at some point get my Ranger to...
Yeah, try it and see what your see what your experience is. But yeah, I did not have any lag at all. So apparently, all the fixes they have done fixed Wayfinder, because yeah, it used to be totally unplayable for me, but it was fine. So I did reach level 8 on my Ranger. Also hit 100 favor at the time. Running the Harbor quests just to get them out of the way and to get the favor. So I'm running them on Elite. So that was Bringing the Light, Harbor Dasher, Irestone Inlet, Cobalt's New Ringleader, Smuggler's Warehouse, and Cobalt Assault. Once again, all on Elite, no problems, nothing really major to talk about. I did the first 2 camps in Irestone Inlet, and I, for some reason, forgot. Usually when I run most quests, I put the setting on private, but that one I forgot, and it was set on public, and somebody sent me a message, and it's like, hey, I see you're running Irestone. Can I join you? So a great player joined me, and we ran that, and that was actually kind of fun. And it was kind of funny because about towards the end of the quest, we had one more camp to get, and then we just had to go blow up the ship. Spoiler alert. The guy actually figured out that I was from the podcast. It was kind of funny because he just kept saying, why does your name sound familiar? I didn't have, I didn't have voice chat on, so we were just typing, so he said in my voice, but he's just like, your name sounds really familiar. And of course, I was on my Dracula character over there.
Well, that makes it obvious.
Yeah. We were almost done, and he's like, are you on that podcast? And I'm like, what podcast? Now I'm like, my podcast? What are you talking about? No, and then, yeah. And then I said, yeah, that's me. So that was awesome. I can say that's the first time I've actually been, quote unquote, recognized in games. So that was kind of fun.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been recognized in DDO. In Motro, there have been a couple of times I have been.
And that is pretty much it for... Actually, no, it is not. I lied. I did do something else in DDO this week, but I did not write it down. Actually, I did write it down on Kyber. I have my Ranger... actually splashed in some rogue levels over there. So I'm running the Harbor. I did Miller's Debt, Home Sweet Sewer, and Harbor Dasher on Elite. Not much to say about that. Other than that, I ran some DDO with you on Wednesday. You'll talk about that. I did jump into Sword Coast Legends because I wanted to check out the Rage of Demons story. Ran some of the side quests, some of the Rage of Demons story, not too far into it. I like the story a lot so far. That's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil anything for any Sword Coast Legends people that are still running that. So that was my week. How about you, Pineleaf? What were we up to, and what did you do this week?
Very well, we'll begin with what I did with you, where our gnomes went into the Temple of Elemental Evil, where we ran part 1 and did a good percentage of it in there. Let's see. I think we might have missed 1 or 2 spots, but we did the bulk of it and got through all the way. I'm trying to remember... Oh, that's right. The mushroom room killed me, but other than that, I think we got through pretty well.
I think that was the only death we had was the mushroom run of death there.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my fault because I was kind of telling you how I usually run through there, and you were going to try it, and you were standing just a little too close to the room, and you got the mushroom crud, and you died while I was talking.
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad, too. I'm like, all right, I'll pick up your stone.
All right, so that's what we had. So we got through that in the end, and that was fine. Then on...
And we did actually kill the boss, too.
Right, we killed the boss. Then on Sunday, I was on my Warlock, who failed last week to finish part 1, so I went back in there to make another attempt. And when I was getting ready to go in there, I remembered rather late on Sunday, I was like, no, this is my last chance here, and I've got only about an hour, maybe an hour and a half in which to run it. So I decided, okay, I'll have to do as much of a speed run as I can get to get through this quickly. So I went down through in there, ran through the whole thing, and when I got to the boss fight, I got there, and I've been having trouble. Apparently, it might be something with the Warlock, because when I'm wielding a weapon, I've got this aura coming out that's doing damage, and I think that's keeping the charm from working, because I was completely unable to charm the Earth Elemental again, and in fact, the club eventually killed the Earth Elemental. So as a result of that, I did finish it. I did eventually go and get them all out, and that barely got through there. But at one point I thought I was, that my cleric was dying, so either I was looking at the wrong health bar, or right after I was looking at it, my cleric was doing some mad healing, because both the cleric and I did survive through the battle. And we finished part 1. That means... That's right. Later on this week, I'll have a chance to run part 2 and see how well I do on that.
Good luck in getting the right node.
Right. And this run, I told you I tried to do a quick run. It took me 45 minutes from entering till I killed the boss.
Wow, that is a pretty decent run.
Now, it did help a great deal that the club was in the chest in the bedroom rather than...
That does make it a lot easier. Yeah, that makes it a lot easier. Because you have less to kill then that way.
Right. We currently have 25 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to help support DDO players, go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest here on DDO Players News. And our featured comment this week is from the cleric in the tabletop party who left a comment on episode 84, Drax's bucket list. So, is Strahd's Revenge on your bucket list?
That is number 1 on the bucket list.
Right. I'm sure that you have just sent a chill down the spines of the players of yours.
Oh, they know they're going to die.
Yeah, okay. And if you would like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You could also follow us at Twitter, The Players Alliance, @PlayersAlly, DDO Players, @DDO Players, Dracula at Dracula_72, Pineleaf at Pineleaf News, and you could also join our Steam group. And we have 4 live shows over here at the Players Alliance. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Players News. Every other Saturday after Locho Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. And on the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Academy After School. You can join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is it for this week, and this is Pineleaf News reminding you to quest responsibly.